So, the next speaker, thank you.
I'm writing a story.
So, I know this is a person you're all waiting for. We already said the name. But to say a few about the speaker, he is called Eugene Anangwe.
Anangwe.
He does it better. So he's a country manager of CNBC Africa. He has worked as a founding CEO of TV 47 and Follow-Up TV in Kenya. And he's a founder and the patron of Anangwe mentorship program. And he is also a host of weekly talk show called The Summit on RTV. So Anangwe has so many things that I cannot mention now, but one of the, which I also know that you know, he has hosted many presidents. I mean, like interviewing them, including our own His Excellency Paul Kagame, Ellen Johnson, the former president of Liberia, and which is the first female head of state. Also, the former Tanzania's President Benjamin Mkapa. So, yes, sorry. So to not mention a few, let's all give a round of applause to Eugene.
No, wait, sir, wait. Let's stand up, guys. Let's stand up and do it this way. Let's stand up and do it this way. So when I say Eugene, you say Anangwe. Which party do you guys want? When I say Anangwe, you say Eugene. Let's go. Eugene?
Anangwe.
No, guys, that's not deep. You guys cannot be invited on the summit. The summit has to be deep. Huh? Eugene? Anangwe. Okay, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very, very much. So Eugene, welcome to Interact Rwanda. Guys, there's nothing so amazing than being given an opportunity to ask questions to a journalist who normally asks other people questions. So we are going to try and make them a bit harder so he sees how uncomfortable he makes us when we go to his show. So welcome, Eugene. It's an honor to have you with the things that we read, not just on your profile, but the things we see you doing. Men who have achieved things that you have done are not so easy to find, coming back to young people to give back. So we just want to start by saying thank you for making time. Thank you for responding to our call. I think, guys, you can join me with a round of applause. Thank you very much for that. So you are welcome. Any opening words you have to greet the guys before we kick into the conversation?
Right, so if you're hearing this voice for the first time, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name, as always, is Eugene Anangwe. And I'm very honored to be here today. I think when the team from Interact Rwanda reached out, I just said yes, even before going too far, in terms of the explanation of what this forum is about. I think my story in terms of bridging borders through storytelling comes a long way. And it can be tied down to some of the works I've done. But I came to Rwanda in 2008. That's the time I came to Rwanda. I think cumulatively it's 15 years. And I speak so much Kinyarwanda that people cannot gossip in Kinyarwanda when I'm in the room. Ubu nchani migani nzino kubwira ngo amasho kavuga ngo amashongore and so on and so forth, ibintu byinshi. And I'm also married to a daughter of the soil, and she's in the room actually. There she is.
You can stand up and wave, and then everybody gets to see you.
No, maybe I'm the only one who's supposed to see her, so no pressure. No pressure, no pressure. You know, you never know in here, eh? We could be connecting people in other different ways, eh? So no, I also have my sister-in-law, actually two of my sisters-in-law. Those ones can stand up because they are...
Those ones I can see them.
So there's Julia there. And then there is Zuena over there. And then my brother-in-law is here. He's called Daddy.
Hey, you can do a seminar with your own family.
Yes. and my beautiful daughter is there. She's called Jada Ishami Kenneth. That's my daughter there. And I think already it goes to tell you the kind of mentorship. You have to start from home, and then you can be able to open up to the rest.
Yeah.
If you are looking at that screen over there, you'll be able to also see some of the works that I've been able to do. And for me...
Can you see?
Yes. You can see that picture there on the right. That was in church. I was in high school. And at that time, I was the deputy head boy. Deputy head boy was actually that time the most, the one who's given the most work to coordinate the whole school. It was not even the work of the head boy. And I would actually give speeches whenever we went to church, when we had our weekly assembly meetings. And for me, the talking to people in public started way back. It's a passion that I built when I was still young. And to connect to the people in the room, all of you, I think allow yourself to discover what you're passionate about. Allow yourself. And do not do things that other people want you to do, be it your father, your mother, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. I always tell people, if you're passionate, if passion is what drives you, that is something that stays with you forever. But if your motivation is your boyfriend or your girlfriend, in Kenya we say mtaachana tu. Things will happen and then you will fall apart. And if they were the ones inspiring you to do what you do, then that means you'll have lost your inspiration. If your passion is the salary that you're paid, COVID, God forbid, will come again, and salaries are usually cut. That motivation goes away. But if it is passion, that will drive you. You can go to the next slide. Next. And you can see from all that time, I've been able to pursue my journey knowing very well what I want. And you need to open yourself up to learning to critique yourself. Even when I've done the summit, I always go back on YouTube to watch the show again. And someone will ask you, why are you watching? It is you. What are you doing? What are you watching? And the reason is I want to see how I ask the questions. And I'll tell myself, if I had a chance again to do the same topic and have the same guests, I would ask those questions differently. So you must open yourself to learning. Every time, learning never ends. You can go to the next slide. Learning does not end. You must be very tough on yourself in terms of wanting to know if you're growing or not growing. Some people say, Anangwe, you're already there. For me, not yet. I still want more. And the more is opening up doors for people who can be able to look at me and say, if Anangwe did it, I can also did it. Next. So you've seen, I've been able to interact with people who, even when I was young, I could never imagine I would be able to meet. But because deep down in my heart, I tell myself it's possible. I've always had a mantra or a motto that has driven me up to today. Keep your head up, never give up. No matter the circumstances. Keep your head up, never give up. So these people that I've been able to interview are people who, if I had not put in the work, the energy, the effort, people might not see the behind the scenes. They'll always see what I do and think, maybe it's too easy. I can also do it. But there's a lot of work that is done. There's a lot of sacrifice. My wife, sometimes we don't get to spend all that quality time together because I have to prepare for the summit. I have to probably go and moderate a show. I have to do research. So you need to be able to put in all that work. This interview with President Paul Kagame, I had tried several times to invite him or to have an interview with him. And every time, there was always a reason that that interview was not going to happen. Either he has traveled, or either the schedules are tight, or it's not the right time. This day was actually a day when there was the commemoration of Kwibohora. And I received a phone call from my boss, Arthur Simwe. It was around 11 in the morning, and he called me and he asked me, Anangwe, have you received any message from the president's team? And I asked, am I supposed to receive any? Should I expect any? And he's like, okay, prepare yourself. You're interviewing the president today at 3 p.m. That's 11 in the morning, and the interview is at 3 p.m. with the head of state. Where's the time to prepare for this interview? This is the president. This is not just, I did an interview with Kanyombia, Senderi. I don't know if you guys remember those interviews. One-on-one. This is the president of the country. And you're being told at 11 that you're going to be doing the interview at 3. So I did what I could do, prepared myself. And the president team was asking, okay, let's see, what are the questions you're going to ask? They would say, okay, this one, either position it this way and that way. And my boss was very supportive. He just called me to the side and he said, Eugene, no pressure. Just read the boss's mood and then flow with it. And when the president walked into the studio, he greeted me. And when we sat, my first question was that question that actually makes him free and easy in the room. And actually the interview happened and the rest is history. So what I'm trying to say is you can achieve that which you wish to achieve, but it cannot come easy. You must put in the work. You must push yourself. Things don't come easy. You must build that muscle. You must read. You must watch other people. Admire other journalists if you want to be a journalist. Once you start becoming like them, find your path and then become that which you want to become. So I think I've spoken so much, but I just wanted to give that background. But my childhood was very humble. I think I went to school barefoot, primary school. There are times when we did not have the proper breakfast. To be able to go to school, we had the ugali that slept last night. We'd throw it in the fire. It becomes crunchy so that we can feel the crunchiness. And we would run to school barefoot. There was a time I'd even fallen from third floor when I was 9. If you look at my pictures properly right now, if you have a picture of me, you can zoom. You'll see somewhere here, there's a dent. This head had actually broken, almost open. I was in a coma for almost 1 month or something. I suffered cerebral malaria, and my grandparents almost gave up. They did the final rituals. They called the priests because they were Catholics. And they did the final prayers of someone who's going to die. But look at me today. I'm here. So there's a purpose. We all have a purpose in life. There's a reason why you are who you are. Try to find out what it is. Try to understand what is that I'm here on this world to do. Then try to live that purpose. All right? Yeah. So we'll proceed maybe in the next question.
Yeah, sure. A round of applause, guys. A round of applause. So I believe there is Eugene Anangwe. And then there is Eugene Anangwe. What I'm trying to say is there is this small Eugene and there's the big Eugene that we are seeing today. But taking us through your journey, we have had a lot of stories. I did this, and then I've done this, and I've done this, that sometimes it has just become like a tradition and a song of hearing what has been done. And sometimes as young people, we sit and we look at you, and of course we see what you have done. But if you can be very practical as you can today, just share with us 2 things that you think we have done that have changed your life to be the person that you are today. And by this, I'm not saying you interviewed the president, right? But I don't think it just started there. This is a manifestation of a lot of things that have been done. So if there are 2 critical moments of your life that you can take us to and say, this is what I've done to be the person that I am today. If you can just share 2 for us to see the practicability of such.
Yeah. Discipline must be very grounded. You must also be passionate about what you do. Those 2 things have really carried me along this way. And then my grandmother's, the late Jessica Luwanga's prayers. I think those are very key elements that will take you far. If you are disciplined, then everything else will fall in place because you'll always want to do the right thing. And then passion. So doing that which you're passionate about. I sometimes feel like I don't work because what I do is something that I'm passionate about. So if it is doing the show, the summit, in fact, there are times when by the time it is getting to 5, when other people are leaving the CNBC office, because I also work at CNBC Africa, on Wednesdays, that means I have to stay on because I have a live show at 9 p.m. on Rwanda TV. So from 6 in the morning up to around 9 when I do the show, and then later on I leave the studio at around, I get home from around maybe midnight is when I get to the house. But when it is about 7 p.m. on Wednesdays, even if I was so tired or I'm feeling so tired, I come alive. If I was telling someone that I'm feeling unwell today, if they watch the show, they'd be like, Anangwe, you are lying that you are sick. Because I'm so passionate about this show, I'm so passionate about what I do, that I come alive. And by the time I'm done with the show, I can go back to being tired again.
Wow. I really love how you say passion and you feel the passion.
You feel it in the voice.
Yes. So what a privilege today to be interviewing you. You said that you have a mantra that says, hold your head up, never give up. So that means you also face challenges. So what is one biggest challenge that you faced in your life and you felt like today the mantra is not working? And what did you do that day?
Right. So like I said, I came to Rwanda in 2008. And the reason or the story behind me coming to Rwanda was because back in Kenya, I was actually knocking so many doors at that time. I knocked the doors of Kiss FM, the original one in Nairobi. I knocked the door at KTN, Kenya Television Network. They were coming up with a program that was about mentoring young journalists and then having finalists who get to win a prize. I applied for that. I would go to every audition for every acting role and also voiceover roles for commercials. And the lines were too long that there are certain people, if you saw them in the queue, just go home. Because they were always going to get it. And you just see that guy, you're like, okay, guys, bye. I just came to say hi. And I went into the booth. I did those voiceovers. And I think there was a sense of, not believing in me. And what that did is there were so many doors that were shut in my face. And while I was volunteering at a Christian radio station called Radio Waumini, I got an opportunity. One of the guys there said, Eugene, there is a team that is from Rwanda and they're looking for young people who would be able to come and launch their English broadcast. That was Contact FM. And at that time, I had volunteered for free for almost 1 year and a half. Going there, on my own, no lunch, no nothing. And when I got this opportunity to be interviewed by the team from Contact FM, they told me, we are happy to pay for you your ticket and accommodation for 4 days in Rwanda so that you can see if you like the place. And when I came, where currently there is Ames, there used to be a hotel there. Do you guys remember that hotel? Alpha Palace. That was my home. First, for the 4 days that I came, they took me to Contact FM, and I loved it. And when I went back home, I received another call. They said, would you love to relocate to Rwanda? And my family, all that they knew that time, like many other people about Rwanda, was just the 1994 genocide against the Tutsis. And they couldn't understand why I would want to relocate. I'd seen people who saw passion and saw, the gift that I had, and they were ready to use it. To fast forward, when I came to Rwanda, KTN approached me for a job to become their correspondent, to report for them and bridge borders through stories. So I was telling the stories of Rwanda through KTN. Kiss FM, which owns Classic FM, when Kenyans voted for the first time in the diaspora, including Rwanda, it was me they reached out to
Wow.
to do the reporting live on the breakfast show, which is a very popular show. And over time, I managed to work for people who did not see that seed, that blessing that I had, that passion, that talent. So it goes back to what I've just said. Keep your head up, never give up. If opportunities don't come, try to create that demand around yourself. Be so good that they say, I think we need this person on our channel. Be so good at what you do. Put all the effort that you need to put. And if you can allow, maybe we can just have a look at the video on YouTube. It will be able to show you what I was doing here as the correspondent for KTN. You can roll it. Volume.
I've witnessed and reported on Rwanda's journey to economic and social transformation.
Focused exclusively at unlocking investment and growth of off-grid and small-scale energy solutions on the African continent.
Making sure that the people of Rwanda own the electoral process.
The Umushanana, if picked correctly, will see you oozing with beauty. The government of Rwanda says it is serious in attracting investors. It's been over 7 years since Rwanda officially joined the East African community. The weatherman and officials right here in Rwanda are saying that there is no cause for alarm. I've been able to interact with the country's top leadership.
Eugene Anangwe, based on some of the different people.
Yeah, I see you on Twitter several times. Go ahead. It can transform the lives of people who may have never touched a smartphone.
And as another of the biggest activities in the ICT's events calendar comes to a close right in Rwanda, my role is to feed the region and the world with accurate information about what's happening here and to separate the myths and facts about Rwanda.
I've never heard of any foreign political party addressing a government or a country or a nation.
Under no circumstances shall a person hold the office of the president for more than 2 terms. So it's very clear.
Will this...
So now we have seen something. The president can also follow people on Twitter. I was like, I see you on Twitter. So the president is there also. So I have a question for you, Anangwe, before I pass it to the people. The first video you showed us of you in high school, how you've been involved in speaking. And so many young people here, we know that, we go to school, we attend master classes, we learn. But one thing I'm seeing in your life is that you have been able to get platforms to practice this gift we see today. And also, I think, is it last week or last month, if I'm not mistaken, I saw you posting, unfortunately, I think it was a message of someone who had passed on but has mentored you in your life. And you were saying, today you've gone, but you've done a lot in my life. And you said a lot of things that I actually read about. So I've also seen that you're somebody that, despite where you are today, you appreciate the role that other people have played in your life. You subscribe to mentorship. So I would love you to just speak on how accessing platforms at a young age, how practicing actually speaking has made you the person you are, but also speak a little bit to mentorship in case other young people here might be looking for mentors. Who exactly should be mentoring them?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's very important to always look for mentors, people who you can look up to. And sometimes we find them, and sadly sometimes we don't. And for me, the mentor you speak about is actually the late Sputnik Kilambi. She's the one who actually picked me from Kenya with Albert Rudatsimburwa, the owner of Contact FM at that time. They saw something in me. And I think what young people need, including those people who still want to make it, is you first need to have a dream. And when you have that dream, start, living that dream. If you want to be the president, that's your dream, as you are right now. But you need to now live that dream. Live as if you are that president. How presidential people live. So meaning you gotta be disciplined. You have to be hardworking. You must think about people. So in your space, the way you are at that time, start living like that dream that you want to be. So practice so much, be very ready for criticism, constructive or otherwise, and then you'll get to the last stage of being that dream. So I dreamt of being a presenter. I wanted this from way back. In class, during our literature classes, we used to read passages, those stories, and seated in rows, the teacher would say, paragraph 1, you raise your hand, and then they pick you. The teacher says, you'll read from paragraph 1 up to paragraph 4. Then paragraph 4 up to paragraph 6, Eugene raises the hand, they pick me, and then that way. So every time I would raise my hand, the teacher would pick me, and the teacher would want me to continue reading because I loved it. I always wanted to do it. And also during the assembly speeches, I would prepare for that speech and do it through a story. And at the end of it, I'm the only one that gets a clap out of everyone else that actually made a speech. Those things built me. I always wanted to gauge how I performed in every of the opportunities that I had to speak and in every recording that I had to do. So at that time, I started living that dream of being a journalist, being a broadcast journalist. I would steal my father and mother's cassettes. I think you guys remember those radios which have the record button. So my dad loves Lingala, my mom at that time loved the Jim Reeves, the Dolly Partons. And so I would take those tapes and I would record myself anchoring the news or telling stories. And when they would put them to play their favorite songs, they would hear in between my voice and I would be beaten. I received a lot of spanking. But today I think they see why I used to do that. And so what I'm trying to say is that always want to be better at what you are. Do not be satisfied at where you are. Always want more. You know, don't settle for what you have. Even if people tell you you've reached, you've arrived, you've done it all, continue to want more. When I was in university, I graduated just the other day at Mount Kenya University here. And I would walk in the corridors of the school and people would always think I'm teaching at MKU. They never believed that I'm a student. If we have anyone here who was at MKU, they never believed. But I sat in those classes with all the humility and the teacher would teach. Some of the lecturers would have problems because they were worried. Are we saying the right things because we are sitting here with someone who is actually already practicing, he's interviewed the president, what is he doing in this class? Is this person a spy? You know, some never believe that I'm actually there just for studies. So want more than just what you have and then work towards achieving it. Practice. You don't need even sometimes to practice in a real studio. Go even in front of your mirror. Talk to that mirror. Act like if you're that anchor you want to be. If you want to be like Anangwe, go there. Do it. Love your name, appreciate who you are, and you'll keep being better at what you want to achieve.
Amazing. A round of applause. A round of applause. So, again, take your phone. Write down one thing you have learned from all you said, and also think about the question you want to ask. So when I give you the opportunity, you go straight to your question. And without wasting much of your time, if you have a question, this is your opportunity. Let me see people who have questions. Questions? This is the... Yes, I see my sister in the back. Thank you. Yes, just tell us your name, where you are from, and the question.
Thank you. My name is Martine, and I'm from Rwanda. So, something that really stands out to me is your strong sense of confidence, and I do admire that. So, my question is, what would you say to someone who feels like they have a lot to offer, and they feel like they want to serve their community, but they feel like they have self-doubt and a low sense of self-esteem? That's my question. Thank you.
Wow, it looks like a very special question that we cannot take another one before you answer it. Please go ahead and go.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate your question. In fact, it's something that you must really purpose to want to have, because society will look at you differently. I know people who say, "Shaura shanuka chan." Then it is you who loses, it's not them. Actually, it's their loss if they are not confident. It's not your loss. So always believe in yourself, because you are...
If you don't believe in yourself, how do you want me to believe in you? Go ahead, Anna.
Yes.
Yes, so it's very critical. And shut your brain from the people who want to make you checheka. Just deliberately shut your brain from listening to that. You need to also create the space for yourself. And creating the space for yourself is looking at, right now we have media owners in all of you. You're a media owner in your own self. So that Twitter account that you have, those through your platforms, you don't need Arthur Simwe, the DG of RBA, to give you a platform to come and do a show. You can actually start talking to the rest of the world. You must create that room and space for yourself. Like you saw when I let me just go back. I think I studied the wrong thing. I would not be where I am today. I've not made it yet. Meaning, see what I do and they would say, is it okay to work with this person? What does it take to work with you? Right? So that's what I'll tell.
Thank you very much. I just wanted to add one thing as well that I've had that has helped me. Somebody told me that confidence is what happens. You see, he was in Kenya doing exactly what he was doing. He is now in Rwanda doing exactly the same, maybe on a higher level, which means it's something that he had as a conviction. It is also important for you to understand that which you want to do and understand it enough that it becomes the conviction, the personal conviction he has. So guys, because of time, I think you want to say something, but I'm going to get one question from somebody who was not.
Took the water under the microscope, and the water has had some black things, not very clear. And then took another clear water, taught the students to say positive things on the water. Took the water under the microscope, and the water had very beautiful crystals. And the moral of the story was, our body is made 80% of water. So if you allow negative words to come to yourself, that's what you turn into. But always allow positive words to come to your life. That will increase your self-esteem.
By the way, what are you studying? I think it has to be science. My sister, please go ahead straight to your question. And I see, if your question needs a lot of things, I will not take another one. So please save others by going straight to the question.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. My name is Kate, and I'm from Kenya, based in Rwanda.
Why are you asking a question?
I have like 2 questions.
Let me get one. Unfortunately, I'll get one, but Mr. Anangwe will be around. You can. But let me get one that is burning that you cannot take home.
Okay. Beside humility, right? There are some values that guided you very much. I know, like, for you to be where you are right now. So what are these values that guided your heart not to allow negativities to come into? And I like the comment that she gave, and I can't repeat that. So what are these values that, you know, like, helped you not to accept any negativity, as well as what was your driving force?
Okay.
From Rwanda, so. But I've been traveling a lot in East Africa, and one thing he said that I was really raised my question was, now that you got the best of what you love to do, what is the inspiration behind other people's stories that you always tell? What do you learn from their stories? Because you always interview people and you always move around. Now that this story, what creates the next question?
Can I answer those two? Before you take them, is there someone, one last person, participating in some of the discussions you had, because they feel like they're seeing very big people and they have so much to say and they would want to hear that as well. So I think, guys, I'm putting my name on the line right now, but I have to do it. Please give us a question.
So, thank you. My name is Etienne from Rwanda. I can say that I am really inspired by the story, and congratulations for this milestone achievement and journey. It is full of challenges and achievements. My question is that, what is your regrets? What you regrets you have not done in your past, in your early age, and what advice to me, your regrets also is the advice for us as young people.
Thank you very much. Guys, let's give a round of applause for the question. Mr. Anangwe, you have about 3 minutes to...
And what I would mean by integrity is, you know, having a plan that you need to achieve through following the right, you know, procedures and doing the right thing. So you might be tempted to do crooked things, do shortcuts, but then you remain grounded to say, you know, if this was my own business, I would not want the person I put in charge to manage it in a wrong way. So in my leadership positions at TV47, Look Up TV, now CNBC Africa, that is what continues to drive me today. I also think upbringing plays a very big role, you know, and this is not to say that people who have not had, you know, physical father, mother kind of, it's even the society that you live in. So the upbringing keeps you grounded to wanting to be disciplined, and you want to do things in the right way. And finally, I think it's the aspect of knowing where you want to go, having a vision, having a plan, and then grounding yourself to achieve that and measuring results. If you cannot measure that, then it's difficult for you to know even where you're going in terms of what you want to achieve. I think your question was the questions, what inspires my questions. I think when I go on air or when I'm doing any interview, it's never about me. I think you have to put yourself in the shoes of the viewer. I always go on air knowing so well that I'm so privileged to be here, and I know that many other people would have loved to be here to ask those questions. So if I do not ask those questions that you would have asked if you had a chance to be here, I'll have failed you. So I ground myself to that. I put aside even whatever knowledge I have of the issues, and I now ask those questions as if I was actually one of the people who was out there that wanted to know. I also ask those questions with the people in mind. I want people to be inspired by the answer that will come from this person. Patrice Motsepe, the South African billionaire, I did an interview with him. And the purpose of that interview with Motsepe was not for me, was for the audience at Kigali Convention Center. Because this is a person who has made it in life. And so how did he make it? What was his journey? And the answers to those questions were aimed at inspiring people that you can be so successful but still grounded in a very you know, with a lot of humility. And so those are the things that inspire me when I'm asking the questions. The question of the summit, I think look out for the next phase of the summit. We are actually working on coming up with what we call town hall sessions. So we're gonna do something like this. So we have the panelists, but we also have a live studio audience like you guys.
A round of applause, guys. This is an opportunity coming.
So we're gonna take it to the next level. We visit different places, talk about real issues affecting young people and society at large. And watch out for that. I think there's no deliberate way of keeping out young people on the show, but it's also to see how those people who are in charge, who have responsibility, to keep them to account. What are they doing to be able to fix some of the challenges that we continue to face? Whose question did I not answer? Regrets. Regrets. I think if we were to look back at regrets, we would not go too far. I have a lot of them, but I chose not to think about them at all. You know, I'm actually thinking of writing a book. and a lot of those things that I want to put in that book will shock most of you. Because life and the journey in terms of even my growing, upbringing, and you know, the journey towards knocking doors and those doors being shut, you do not put your mind to what has passed in terms of you know, the challenges or the mistakes that you've done. You learn from them, and then you say, if I was to face such a thing next time, I would look at things differently. I would not go towards it in that same way. So I'm yet to meet something that I would say I totally regret ever doing this or that. But every day is a learning day. I look back and I say, I think I can negotiate better if I got a chance to negotiate, you know, a salary or an allowance or a concept. But every day you keep meeting these things. But if you put them ahead of you mostly to think about so much about them, you'll not go too far. I would propose, think about the success stories and what you've achieved. Clap for yourself, be happy, appreciate yourself. Sometimes you know what you go through alone. The society doesn't. So don't seek validation from people. Social media today makes us want to seek validation from people. If you post your picture smiling and you put there a biblical quote, that was not the purpose of that post. You wanted people to see how beautiful your lips are. You wanted people to see how gorgeous you look. But you pretend and right there, and Joseph said, you know? And then you keep coming back every second to see how many people have liked. How many comments have I gotten? So the moment you see you only still have one like which was yours, then you start being broken inside because you're seeking validation from people. So do not, validate yourself. I can go on forever.
A round of applause for Eugene Anangwe. Guys, let's give him a standing ovation. Come on, you can stand up and clap for these amazing men. I think this was powerful. So, at the count of 3, I want us to clap for him and appreciate him. So let's go. 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you very much, Eugene. Thank you so much for such a powerful presentation. We really appreciate you. Keep what you're doing. We are learning and we are seeing, and because of you, we shall do it even better.
We can
Thank you
also
very
hear
much.
about the last slide.
Yeah, the mentorship program. I know some of you want to know what I'm doing about the mentorship
We want
program.
to join, not just know.
Exactly. So if you can look at the screen, that's what I'm working on. If someone didn't believe in me, I wouldn't be where I am now. So I've chosen also to hold people's hands and also try to walk with them in the journey of mentorship. And so if you go to my website, it's eamgtv.com, because I'm now putting together a TV station, which is online currently. That's what you see, the EMG TV. There's EMG Radio, and then the Anangwe Mentorship Program. The goal of this is to actually have these broadcast channels being run by graduates of the mentorship program.
Wow.
Because we have people who are actually good enough out here, but when people are setting up TVs and radios, they look for our celebrities. And where will the young new people go to? And that's what I didn't get at that time, because all the time the radios in Kenya were looking for celebrities. And so people with talent could not get opportunities. So the Anangwe Mentorship Program is on. If you go on that channel, on the website, it's eamgtv.com. You can actually go and check it yourself. And then there'll be a platform which is now talking about the mentorship program. And you can probably play the video as I go. Daddy, it's on the video, on the folder.
Can I ask for one thing?
Yeah.
A picture with Anangwe. Let me have a picture with Anangwe. Let me ask it in public.
Yeah, yeah. Awafotozi, tumeze tumbo.
You guys are jealous, I see you. Thank you very much, Mr. Anangwe. We appreciate.
Thank you very much, Asante sana.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
A round of applause. A round of applause. So, guys, I think this was so powerful.
Very powerful.
Powerful. Wow. Now I want to have a kid as well. Look at that. After you finish speaking, then you get a very good hug like that one. Wow. I'll bring my own kid. Oh, you want to say something? Oh, okay. Please go ahead. Tell us something. It's okay.
What's your name?
My name is Jen.
What do you want to be when you grow up?
I want to be a police.
Ah. Why do you want to be a police? Oh, wow. Guys, don't mess up. You will go to jail. So what is one thing you want to tell us? Anything that you want to tell them?
Grow up.
You want to learn what?
When I be a
When you're a big grow up. Thank you. A round of applause for her. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You must think about your life. How did your mother raise you? Is it the importance of you being a good father? You already get the stage.
Right.
Thank you so much, guys. This was so amazing. And for me, I just want to start by appreciating you, Michael, for taking your time and sharing your story, man. This is so amazing. You know, stories normally get shared, and when somebody from the US and all these countries share, we cannot relate. But what is interesting about yours is that I was able to relate, even if, although I've never been part of that world. And Mr. Anangwe, thank you for taking time and thank you for sharing your story. And you can join me in appreciating these guys for taking us to Kenya, for taking us to South America, and all these countries without a flight ticket. That's Interact Rwanda for you. It's called travel without a flight ticket. Your flight ticket is Anangwe and Michael, and of course your hosts. We are the cabin crew. We drive this thing.
And also the audience.
Of course, the audience.
Yes.
So
Also,
want to get to, oh, you have something to say? Please do.
yes. Also, let's take time to appreciate the sponsors. So, how we're going to do it? You're going to say one clap if I mention the sponsors, right? So Kaza, that's how we pronounce it.
It's Kaza.
Kaza.
I was calling it Kaz.
Okay.
It's
What's
Kaza.
the right one?
No, it's Kaza in Rwanda, Kaz in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
That's the diversity.
Kaza. 50 laps.
Of course, the Legacy, that is Grant Legacy. Thank you for hosting us.
And Interact Rwanda.
Interact Rwanda, of course. So we want to get to the next program where we are going to, you see, Interact Rwanda is the storytelling night, is a 3-year-old baby. Do you hear what I'm saying? Is a 3-year-old what? Baby. We have had the first edition, we had the second edition, and now this is the third edition. On the first edition, I was also among as the speaker, and I got an opportunity to share my story. And guess what? Most of the things you see me benefiting now are a result of the platform I was given right here. Most of the people I work with now, I got them from here, and I respect this place so much. So we want to take time to appreciate people who have been there on first edition, second edition, third edition, just to make you jealousy so that you can attend all things. Right. So allow me to call Teresa Gashonga to present the awards. There are going to be awards that will be given to these people as I call their names. So if you are here and your name is Teresa Gashonga, please make your way to the front. A round of applause.
A round of applause, Tracy.
Oh, it's good, yeah. I don't think we can remove these chairs now. Do we need them? We don't need them, thank you. But you can remain with one maybe to put your kids. You want one? Okay. Is that the order? Okay, let's remove them. And allow me also to call Mr. Julius to come to the front. Thank you so much. So when I call you, you just make your way. So Michael, I think you need to be this side. Yeah, this side. So we are going to start with the first person. Please, I'm from Zimbabwe and I'm not yet married to a Rwandan, so if I mess up your name, it's not intentional. I'm trying my best right now, okay? The first awardee is called Tito Harerimana.
Tito Harerimana, please give him a round of applause for attending the 3 editions of Storytelling Night.
Congratulations, Tito.
Congratulations, Tito. Mastermind behind this, a person who once had a dream, and because he lived his dream, we are here today. So that's none other than Julius. Welcome.
Thank you so much. Before I move on, let me ask Mr. Charles to add on one thing. If you could come, or do you mind if I give you? Good evening, everyone. My name is Charles. It's not Kaza, it's Kaz. Actually, he pronounced it very well. Kaz is a mobile app that you young people or anyone with a talent or with a skill can register there, and your profile will be presented to 1,000 users of the application. So we connect you people with skills to those people who need those skills to see them in action. So for example, you know, software development, plumbing, you are an electrician, you can post that profile of yours on cars, and that profile will be visible to many and thousands of users of that application. So they can see your works and they can contact you and reach out to you to get service from you. So check it out, and if you have any other questions, please feel free to reach out to me or Julius or anyone around here who knows cars to give you more insight on it. Thank you. Julius.
He's a man who have sponsored this. Thank you so much for supporting us. So I would like to take this time to thank you all for coming here. Thank you for blessing us tonight. Let me start with the speakers. Mikhail, thank you so much. Thank you for coming. When I called you, you never took too much to allow me. It's not easy because you're coming from far, but you provided, you struggled to come to Kigali. Thank you so much for blessing us today. Thank you so much. I'd also like to take this time to thank Mr. Anangwe. God bless you so much. It's a pleasure to have you tonight. I remember the time I called you. You just picked me. I thought because you're a busy person, you could neglect the call. You could say, no. I am a busy person. I talk to big people. Thank you so much for giving me your time. He's a person who is so supportive. He said, as long as I'm serving, I'm here to serve. That is why I'm here in Rwanda. So thank you so much for being welcome when I was approaching you. We are here because of you. We are here because of Mikhail. Thank you so much. Again, I would also like to thank the audience. Thank you for blessing us with your time. A lot of people, they got challenged. We had a venue before. We had to change because of the games, Ferraba. So a lot of people, they have been in their way. Some of people who are here, they have been in a normal. They just have to come back. It was somehow tricky, and we have to bear with it. So thank you so much for coming. Guys, it was not easy, but thank you for blessing me with your time, with everything. God bless you so much. Yeah, I'm also thanking the man from Rwanda. He's in the top management. Thank you so much, my brother. I can just do like this. Thank you for blessing us. And Script Lab is not allowed. I also want to thank my team. We work together. They are busy somewhere there behind. There is also our project manager. He's not allowed. He traveled. It's called Margaret. He's a big mama who is always behind our ideas, pushing us, giving us ideas. She wanted really to be here, but she didn't make it. So thank you so much as you go. Thank you so much. Thank you for blessing us. We look forward to see you guys in the 4th edition. God bless you so much.